another big thing that's kind of arisen is kind of like the placement that, all right, women are going to be the ones that you have to chase after, and guys are going to have to do all the talking. They're the ones who have to text first. You see that all the time in like
Hmm.
girls' Tinder bios. I won't respond, so you have to text first or something like that.
Yeah.
So with it making it so much easier now to kind of like go out and meet people, how do you expect people to communicate when they don't even meet face to face? They're all just like, all right, they're gonna text, they're gonna send some like promiscuous Snapchats, they're gonna link up, call it a day. Whereas that normal culture that I think you're a little bit more used to is is just going out, meeting new people, and then
Yeah.
from there it decides to just progress. So how do we get back onto that line that seemed like a more reliable way of
So
dating?
as far as, texting first and stuff like that, right? You don't want to be the one to chase. Okay. You want to, and this is kind of going to be misogynistic advice. There's a great guy, David D'Angelo, which his actual name is Eben Pagan. But David D'Angelo, I went through one of his courses. I think we've talked about David
Mhm.
D'Angelo. He talks about like flipping things on their head, right? Where if you're chasing after a girl, right? If I get like really close to you, what's your natural response? I want to back away, right?
Mhm.
Because there's this like distance between us and we want to keep that distance. So, and this is kind of getting to a personal thing, but I'll get back into the texting. But like, say you're at a date with a girl, right?
Mhm.
Lean back in your chair. This is the advice he gives, and it just works, right? Lean back in your chair. That'll naturally cause her to lean forward. It's small stuff like that. And again, what it all is flipping it on its head where women are used to being chased. You don't want to do that. You want to be the one who chases them. Or you want them to be
Other way, yeah.
you want them to be chasing you, right? So flip it around. So, as far as like the texting first and whatnot, like, I think that's kind of okay. But you don't want to be desperate. I'm kind of like just rapid fire dating
Mhm.
advice here. Okay.
That's
Don't be
good.
desperate. Where it all kind of made sense to me was, I kind of my first kind of education focus was in business, and I learned sales at a very young age. I read a bunch of sales books when I was like 15,
Mhm.
right? And it was the example that was used to teach it to me was think of it with sales. When you like go into a sales situation and the person's like really desperate, like,
Like,
come
"Come
on,
on,
let
let
me
me
work
work
out a
out a
deal
deal
for you.
for you.
Come on,
Come
come on,
on,
let's
let's
do a
do a
deal.
deal.
Come
Come
on,
on,
man,
man,
I
I
can
can
give you
give
the
you the
best
best
price
price
ever.
ever."
What do you naturally do? You naturally
You're
like,
just like, "Dude,
this
chill
feels
out."
this feels uncomfortable, right? Like
Exactly.
what's wrong with that, right? When the person's like, "Hey, take your time," if you go to the car dealership and the person's like, "Take your time, let me know if you have any questions, I'll be at my office or whatever. Let me know if you have any questions." That feels much more comfortable. But if a person's like, "Oh, no, 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 I got to answer any of your questions. Come on, let's talk, let's talk, let's talk." You want dating to be the same way. Just always be thinking about that. This doesn't mean where a lot of men will, especially young men, tend to take this is thinking they need to be the bad boy. They need to be the asshole. Don't be an asshole to anybody, but
Mhm.
especially women, right? Don't do that. But switch it to where like you're not desperate. Okay. You're not being an asshole. You're not like, come chase after me, baby.
Mhm.
But switch it to where you're not desperate and it'll change the dynamic of the relationship. That that right there is foolproof
So if
advice.
you know sales, you know how to date. That's basically what you want to say.
Yeah, man. I think if you get good at sales, which it's pretty much the same thing, right? You putting yourself out into the dating
Mhm,
marketplace
mhm.
and hoping that somebody buys, right? And this isn't just
Yeah.
about hookups. You're looking for a mate. You're
Mhm,
looking for a
mhm.
partner. It's the same thing as buying a car.
Yep.
You're looking, you're doing sales, man, and you want to not be desperate. Uh, a good thing you can do, it comes back to the paradox of choice, and this kind of goes against my advice, is you want to increase your options. Uh, and that's where the dating apps and whatnot, I think, can help, especially men who are struggling to find women. Is if you have hundreds of options, which you literally do. I mean, here's the thing: is you logically know how many there's what 3 billion potential mates for you out
Mhm.
there. You know that, right? But you don't feel that. So the little bit of feeling that you can get, you like kind of remind yourself that, hey, there's a lot of mates out there. I think that's a good place to kind of help build up your confidence.
Yeah, that's one thing that
Well,
I've
lots of
heard.
wide ranging advice there.